Hi, this is Dr. Otto Janke, Executive Board Officer for the New York Chiropractic Council. Our first speaker coming up on October 16th at our convention is this man, Dr. Simon Senzon. Simon, thank you for being with us today.
Yeah, great to be here. How are you, Otto?
I don't know about you, but the weather here is fantastic.
Yeah, it's great here too.
So I was on your site, Philosophy of Chiropractic, and I have read a number of the books on there. And I got to tell you, some of the information you have about the beginnings of chiropractic, I got to tell you, is absolutely fundamental, and it should be mandatory for every chiropractor out there. First of all, thanks for doing that.
Yeah, my pleasure. Yeah, it's been great for me to just explore just all these nuanced details that most chiropractors don't even know about today.
Yeah.
Yeah, lately I've been looking at D.D. Palmer's early writings, BJ's earliest writings, and looking at how those relate to the critics today, people who are saying subluxation is just an historical term that we don't really need anymore, which is, taking on a life of its own, that argument.
Right. So
I've been looking at that to see where that idea came from and what it's really about.
That's amazing. Reading about Dee traveling library was just amazing that pretty much a self-educated man made that profound leap from that thought to that thought. Was astounding. That was astounding.
Yeah, he's amazing. He not only did he study all of that spiritualist literature and hypnotism literature, but he also studied the latest physiology, anatomy, and surgery texts of the day. And the surgery books, those were the only ones that really talked about the spine. So he knew all of it. It was really something. They've even there's some papers done that looked at what D.D. Palmer was reading and compared his references to what your average medical student was studying within a 100-mile radius. And he was far ahead of the game and reading all the latest editions. A really amazing guy.
Phenomenal stuff. And you think about that the travels he took from being the teacher to the beekeeper to the fishmonger, and then you see a man who was just so intelligent and put everything together for us, and he laid a groundwork for us, which was just incredible.
Yeah, one of the things that's been really interesting to me lately is when he moved from Oklahoma to Portland. That's when he really started writing his sort of next phase of writing, which became his book, The Chiropractor's Adjuster. And I took some time recently and read everything he wrote the year leading up to when he published The Adjuster. Most of that stuff became the book. And he named the book The Chiropractor's Adjuster, and his new magazine, that was the title, because he wanted to adjust all of the misconceptions about chiropractic that other chiropractors were having. Especially BJ. That was really the kick. Yeah. Because, this was 1909, and BJ had just published Volume 2 and Volume 3 of the Green Book series, which were BJ's first books. And Dee had copies of these, and he ripped them to pieces. Because he was kind of pissed. They were having a big argument, family feud at the time. So Dee just took it out on BJ. I was amazed, really.
I'm always amazed, Simon, that I wonder if those two, if they had actually focused together for a short period of time, it wouldn't have been 2 + 2 = 4. It would have been 2 times 1,000. I imagine if those two worked together and worked hard together, it would have been absolutely transformational.
Well, they did. That first, from 1904 until 1906, when D.D. Palmer got arrested, they were working together. They were running the school. They started the journal, and they had plans to publish the first Green Book. And then Dee got arrested, lost in trial, went to prison. Then they split the assets, and Dee moved to Oklahoma. And then BJ went ahead and published the book anyway, which was mostly Dee's writings. And because they were so at odds at that point, which was family stuff, their wives didn't get along, there was big stories behind it. It turned out Dee started to say, well, I never gave him permission to publish that book. But back in January, when they were still working together, they announced, we've got a book coming out. So DD was part of it. He said, I'm leaving the profession, I'm out of here, and opened a grocery store in Oklahoma. So BJ published it anyway. So there's all this really interesting piece where they did sort of collaborate for a couple years at least.
Amazing, amazing. Simon's website is www.philosophyofchiropractic.com. I'd recommend you go on there and get a couple of the books. I loved Ratledge. Oh, I devoured Ratledge in probably about a couple of days. I inhaled that one. That was delicious. That was fantastic. And those names that we don't get nearly enough of in our history, you've brought to us, and I just love that one.
Yeah, really amazing. And what I've been looking at lately and what I'll be talking about at the convention, it's sort of a history of subluxation ideas. Because to me, it's really interesting to see how each new wave of thinkers in chiropractic built on the models of the guys who came before them. They were reading each other's textbooks, referencing each other, talking at conferences, and then developing new models on top of the ideas that came before them. And recently, I just got a copy of Ratledge's 1949 lectures, which is really a rare document. After he stopped teaching, because the California board changed the law that he put in place in the 1920s, and he could no longer meet the standard to meet their new medical and physical therapy courses. So he shut down the school, ended up selling it to Carl Cleveland. It became Cleveland, LA.
Wow.
And he started the Chiropractic Forum, which was, I think, a monthly lecture where his students would bring people together and he would just talk. And they published these lectures as a little, 3-ring binder, 1949. It's called The Philosophy of Chiropractic. And somebody just sent me a copy, just rare, random thing. So it's amazing to me that there's still these gems that I don't know about, people don't know about, that are just amazing pieces of our history.
Absolutely, and I got to tell you, one of the neat things is being on Facebook, and someone will ask you a question, most obscure thing, and within a couple minutes you're like, oh yeah, it's because of this. It's like, where the heck did he come up with that? But anyways. Yes, Dr. Senzon's going to be speaking for the council October 16th at a convention down in Tarrytown, New York. Again, his website is called The Philosophy of Chiropractic. I got to tell you that he's going to be speaking about the multiple subluxation on the 16th. You got to be there because we talk about the art, the science, and the philosophy of chiropractic in the council. And Dr. Senzon, I got to tell you, you're one of the bright lights who talk so deeply about this. You're so knowledgeable, and it's absolutely just great to have you with us. And I look forward to seeing you on the 16th.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. Happy to be with you guys again.
And again, philosophyofchiropractic.com. Go on there and get a couple of books and read up before your head gets blown away on the 16th by all the knowledge that's going to come out of you. I appreciate you being with us today, and we're going to see you on the 16th.
Sounds great.
Thank you very much.
See you soon.